Hi, this is Melissa, your Free Range Psychic. Today is February the 27th, 2022, and today I am going to do an update on Putin and the GOP. We're watching this horrible invasion of a sovereign state by a Hitlerian like Putin, and we're seeing the strength and the incredible courage and bravery of the Ukrainian people staving off this attack, and the whole world joining together to push back against Putin in real time. So I wanted to, and consulted with my guides regarding this, do a reading on the GOP and Putin, their relationship, and how this actually affects them. I'm using the Ciro Marchetti Gilded Tarot cards, and I am going to have an oracle card for us, if you want to stick around for that, from the Messenger Oracle deck or guidebook by Ravan Falan. And then there's always the musical interlude at the end. The first card that I got, and this represents the situation from my guides. So what happens is I ask my guides to show me the cards psychically, and then I ask them why they chose those cards. So the Tower was the one that came up, and that makes so much sense, right? This is Putin invading Ukraine, the bombing and from the air and from the ground, and the gunfire and the destruction that is happening. But at the same time, this card also represents that what happens to Russia and Putin involves the GOP. They're falling out of the same tower here. So the consequences, whatever they may be, this is merged here. And this is also representing this ongoing insurrection that's coming from the GOP from the 6th of January onwards to this trucker convoy that's coming to DC, and the previous Canadian strike of the truckers that actually more and more we're seeing was organized by the GOP. And it's all one. So if Russia is victorious and they succeed in their plans, becoming the emperor of the world, then this is going to benefit the Republicans, giving them more strength to install a puppet regime here. But if they fail, they all fail together. Now, I'm not saying that if Russia successfully captures Ukraine, that's the end result, because there's now so much pushback against them, especially not just the aid and the help of guns and ammunition and tanks, etc. I mean, Germany is giving them a ton of stuff. I'm sure we are, but it's the financial aspect of things. But I was just trying to illustrate the two extremes here regarding how that impacts the Republicans, whatever happens with Russia, because if Putin fails, then this is what happens to them. Their tower is obliterated, because it's really been Putin and Russia, other countries too, but mainly Putin, that has crafted this synergy with them, this collusion, this Siamese twin type relationship, where like the wigga wigga from the cue, where we go one, we go all. Well, that is the GOP, and that is Russia also. Above, Six of Pentacles. So what is the ostensible means of operation that the GOP have used to craft this? Why do the GOP have this relationship with Putin? Sorry, this is shining on there, I know. Money, 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 right? The dark money that has flowed into the coffers of the GOP on a national level, on a state level, on a local level. And greed is at the bottom of it. Really, this card is saying the GOP have been bought and sold in entirety. You see the hands here? Give me more, give me more. In the past, this relationship has been cultivated for almost 40 years, I think, between Putin and the GOP. I believe I did read an article about how it started with Jack Abramoff, and then through the shared values of, like, the family, it's called, in DC, which all the guys who grow those beards, that is showing allegiance with that group of people. I now they're called something else, but that is escaping me. But people like Ted Cruz and Matt Gaetz, all those people are part of this family. They're is it the C Street gang or something like that, where they're coming in as evangelicals, believing in a certain kind of Christianity where Jesus didn't, he wasn't peaceful, he wasn't humble, he actually was aggressive in their minds. They actually believe this. Somebody taught this and wrote a book about it, that he believed in materialism, he believed in the acquiring of wealth. It's crazy, but they really believe this kind of doctrine. And this is really Putin's belief too. The evangelicals have made trips over to Russia. Many of the Republicans have. We remember, as I mentioned before, the 4th of July trip that happened several years ago. They have the same aims, the same goals, and this has been long in the making, and it's been surreptitious. It's been going on behind our backs. It's kind of behind our backs. We've kind of seen it, but what it really means and has meant, what's really going on, somehow it hasn't really come into the forefront as much as it really should, because it's pretty obvious if you really look at them and what their relationship with Russia has been. The card underneath is the Five of Swords. So this is really the value system that draws them together, is also this one of fascism, one of authoritarianism, of wanting world domination. That this is the GOP and this is Putin, by any means necessary, and on the backs of the people, on the suffering, the deaths of the despair of the people, they get theirs. They believe in this. It's not just like a hidden glitch in their personalities. Well, it could be, but it's not like something that is just a trait. This is a belief. So they are all in, the GOP are all in for the attack on I keep on wanting to say the Ukraine, sorry, Ukraine and the Ukrainians. I don't know if any of you have been watching CPAC, and there's another pack going on. It's like AF-PAC or something. Now that particular meeting is extremely far right-wing white supremacy, and Marjorie Taylor Greene was at that meeting. You can find it on Twitter, So the speaker at that rally was saying how young white boys are the ones that are being locked out of our system and are being prejudiced against, and it was crazy. It was just so creepy. And then he said some remark about Putin, like "Go Putin" or "Yay Putin" or something, and everybody clapped. Everybody was all in for Putin. So you would think that Marjorie Taylor Greene is also of that ilk. The fact that she spoke there, a congresswoman, but go look it up on Twitter, see if you can find some of those speeches. But this is them. This is why they're not abhorred, or they're not, or they might be on the surface speaking out against Putin, but they're all in for Putin. They like this. In the future, my guides show me the Five of Pentacles, and this is what's actually happening now. Doors are being shut on Russia. They are being removed from SWIFT. They are being removed from the European and American banking systems. They're being locked out of the world economy. And somebody said to me the other day about how the majority of Putin's money is in cryptocurrency, and he's been prepared for it. But believe me, the world only accepts cryptocurrency because there's a consensus to do so. If they decided to not, it would disappear into thin air, and they have the power to do that. So Putin's billions could just go. He's already lost like 40 or something like that. Him and his oligarchs. And I believe these pentacles probably also represent not just Putin, but the oligarchs and also the GOP. Because think about it. Once this is no longer accessible to them, once Putin can't take from his billions and billions of dollars to own the GOP, where they're going to get their money. and maybe their money is in cryptocurrency too. And I don't want to frighten people who are actually investing in cryptocurrency, but I just think that Putin has pushed the envelope on that, and that the world does have the power to take that from him too. So the Russian stock market has already plunged. There's such a backlash happening. Even Turkey is supporting Ukraine. So this is the future for both the Russian oligarchs, Putin. Unfortunately, the Russian people are going to, have backlash from this, of course. They don't have enough trouble already. But what that may spark is this revolution that is already occurring. This protest against Putin, this protest against the invasion of Ukraine that is already happening and filling the streets of every city in Russia. And I believe this may be, I really wouldn't call it the straw that broke the camel's back, because it's like a big missile, but it's enough already. He has pushed things to a point where it's impossible to maintain this at all. Everything's going to crash down. And so really what I see happening is the tower is really Putin, and Putin falling out of the tower. And because of this relationship that the GOP has with Russians and with Putin, wigga wigga, they fall too, in a big way that we probably can't conceive of right now, because we really don't understand what the relationship is in that manner, and how much the GOP and the Russians are tied together financially. The overarching card for the reading is the Devil. So my guides remind me this is not just a physical war, but it's affecting us on other levels, and really it is a spiritual war. and that Putin is channeling spiritually this unadulterated evil that fuels and powers his government, other governments that he has strong-armed and put puppets in, like Brazil, and also the GOP. So this is coming from evil, and this is Putin, the devil, looking down again, as I say, creating this hellfire on earth and challenging us as people to decide, do we want to take a stand? What are we going to do about it? The outcome for the GOP here is Five of Wands. So my guides showed me this is the leaders of the GOP, because of the weakening state of Putin and Russia, and because of their own tower having been in a state of siege and is toppling, they're fighting amongst themselves for dominance. Who's going to be the new leader? Which way is the GOP going to go? And also, this is the Russian oligarchs and Putin. The Russian oligarchs now turning against Putin because this decision was disastrous and they warned him against it, and now it's affecting their pocketbooks really severely. And there's no longer agreement here, there is division, and people fighting against themselves, fighting against each other. This is people fighting each other for control, for direction. It is chaos. So this chaos is coming to both Russia and the GOP. Okay, so I am now going to read you your oracle card for today. And my guides chose this card. It's Know Your Fears. Know your fears. You have fears both big and small. Some fear is felt for a good reason. It serves to remind you to be cautious and not to take foolish and dangerous risks. Other fears you feel are but shadows that you have made real and given substance, but they are not real. They serve only to make you doubt yourself, to question your good judgment, to fear success, to restrict and to limit. Look within, know your fears, shine a light upon them, and see them for the shadows, and miss that they are. Hope you guys are holding up. Such a crazy time to be on Earth, but I think probably any time is a crazy time to be on Earth if you think about our history. If you want a reading from me, you can find my information below in the description box or at the very end of the musical interlude, which is coming up next. I will be back next week. Love you. Bye-bye.